So if everything works well, we should be live now. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to this from. And welcome to another episode of Everything Outside Code. And today I have a fantastic guest, Boudy. Boudy, you want to say hello before we continue?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. And thank you to
Yeah,
having me here.
yeah, great. I'm even more excited than you are because today we're going to be talking about everything around your experience. I see you have like 20 years of experience in software engineering, an entrepreneur running a business. So I'm really, really excited to meet. We haven't met before, so this is going to be as natural as possible. For anyone out there that also has questions for Bowdy or myself, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll take them on. Um, so we would just get right to it. Bowdy, you could introduce yourself and tell us, just give us a brief history of like your journey to today.
Sure. So my name is Boudy de Geer. I'm a Dutchman living in Spain. And I started developing like when I was 17, something like that, as a hobby. So at some point my hobby became my work, and I think this is the most awesome part of somebody, if you just do whatever you love, right? So I'm full stack developer, web developer for more than 20 years. I don't know, 23, 24 professionally. And I've been working in big companies most of the time, with big data related companies, startups. I tried and have been founder of a couple of them, even failed most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I opened also my company 5 years ago, started consulting, making a lot of money in that sense, but that's not what I love. So,
Mhm.
and right now I'm on the journey just to build my own products and try to make living out of it.
Yeah. That's interesting, and that's a wealth of experience there. I like the part where you said, you go into consulting, made like a lot of money, and now you want to build what you actually like. So was that a
Yeah.
conscious effort? Did you figure out that, oh, if I want to make like boatloads of money, I go into consulting first, or did it just happen accidentally? How did you make that switch?
Oh, let's say I was working for other companies all the time, and because I'm based in Spain, and this is one
Hmm.
of the things that I don't like. For example, I'm based in Spain, so I
Yeah.
was paid because of the money that I was paid was based on my country where I was living. So same people in the same company, they were just in, for example, in the Netherlands, and they were like paid 30-40% more just because they were living in the Netherlands. Even if I had more
Oh,
experience, I don't want to say I was better developer, but that was the case. So at some point I thought, okay, that's not for me. I
mhm.
cannot afford this
Yeah.
anymore, because they are not paying me for my value. They are paying me for where I'm based. So I just decided to go my own path. And I realized that working for my own as a consultant for foreign companies, I started doing like 20 times the money that I was when I was an employee. At some
Wow.
point, as a consultant, I was doing like 30-40K a month, with a lot of stress, with a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought, okay, this is the way to go. I did it, right?
Yeah.
But that's not scalable. You cannot afford to do it more than, or at least I can't, more than 4, 5, 6 months with 4 or 5 projects at a time. So it's impossible. It's really impossible.
Yeah.
Um, so then I thought, okay, I have done a lot of money. Let me try now to bring my own product.
Yeah.
And I did it. I did it like 3-4 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, Back then, it was the NFT boom. So I created an NFT game. And
Yeah.
first, Yeah, so I created the game. We raised a lot of money. I hired people to help me. So at some point, I had like 12 employees, and it was like, okay, that's the way to go. So I stopped all my
Yeah.
consulting and started focusing only on my game. And the thing is that I spent all my money that I've earned
You made.
during the past, plus the money that we raised during the initial offer, so more than $1 million.
Wow.
And I got bankrupt.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It was horrible, man. It was horrible when I started firing people because I could not afford them anymore. It was
Yeah.
horrible because of all the people who invested money initially in the game, and I could not back it up because it was unsustainable. The game was unsustainable. We were not able to bring new people in. So at some point, the money was gone, and I just needed to stop developing. I felt into a depression, kind of heavy one, and thanks to my family, to my kids, to my wife, I got out of it. And then I went back to consulting a year and a half ago, something like that. And that's more or less. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
you have stories then. I'm sure you have like battle scars from
yeah.
from all that. I can imagine. What would you say was your biggest lesson from that, that experience?
The biggest lesson for me right now, the biggest lesson that I learned from it is that business is business, and
Yeah.
you should not take it personal, right? I mean, if your project, for me, it was my baby. I spent like 2.5 years working, sometimes like over weeks, 20 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, I just went to sleep for 4 hours, woke up again, keep working, eating, everything on my desktop for weeks. So
Wow.
it was a difficult time also for my family because of that.
Yeah.
You can imagine. I have two
Yeah.
kids. One is 20 and the other is 17. So for them, it was difficult. For my wife, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Um, but the biggest lesson that I learned is that even if it's your baby, it's just a business, right? The
Yeah.
most important part is to keep yourself healthy and balance between your work. Even if your work is everything to you, you need to
Yeah.
balance, because you're never going to succeed in your work if you don't balance it out with other things like sports, people, family,
Yeah.
resting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I see you do a lot of that now. From the short bio you shared with me before this, you had like a lot from gaming to like football, and all the other stuff. How are you finding all that now? Do you feel like you've achieved that balance, sort of?
I try. I need to force myself. I need to say I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the things that I figured out a couple of months ago is that once I start a new feature, let's say for my project, until it's done, for me it's very difficult to go out of work. So
Yeah.
to just close my laptop at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or what time it is, and
Yeah.
focus on something else. Once the feature is done, released, and I say, okay, people can start using it, then I can just say, okay, I go for holidays for 2 weeks. It's not the problem.
Yeah.
But while it's not there and it's still in my mind and I need to deploy it, it's like very, very difficult for me to disconnect from work. But I
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we can only just try, and then we learn as we go. So
It's
yes, talking
iterations,
about,
right?
yeah, definitely it is. Talking about projects, right? What's the latest thing you're working on?
The latest project I'm working on, it's Content Studio AI. And
Okay.
basically, it's a video creator that underlying a lot of AI models.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you can create a 1 minute or 2 minute video in less than 2 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, just by giving it 2 clicks. It's a very small prompt if you want, and it will just create the whole video for you.
yeah.
There are a lot of plans for it. We just released 10 days ago, or I released 10 days ago. But the fun story about this is that the whole project came up just because of an idea that I had with one of my sons.
Okay.
So we are both very into FIFA, into video gaming, and we really wanted to create some kind of news channel in TikTok and YouTube, because FIFA is just releasing every day new player cards, and we wanted just to start a faceless channel where we're just talking about the news that were coming out every day. And we started doing it by hand. So each video of 1.5 minutes, around 1.5 minutes, took us almost 1 hour to produce.
Wow.
And then I thought, okay, I'm a developer. I should improve this a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can make it better.
Exactly. So we sat both down and we figured out a way to abstract it, a way to scrap the data and to automate it. And I started building right away that evening. Started right away coding, and after 3 weeks I had a proof of concept, and we have been validating it now for almost 3 years.
Wow.
3 months. 3 months.
Because
So
I was going to ask.
No.
Way before the AI buzz, how did you do it?
No. I mean,
yeah.
For that specific case, what we did is we're scrapping data and we're using the AI to create a script and a voiceover. So we have a faceless channel that we grew almost to 2,000 followers in less than 3 months by 2 clicks. So basically, we go in, we click, it will script the data, it will create the images, scrape them, cut them, put them into video, and put the voiceover and so on. And then I thought, okay, so once I have validated it in the sense of it works, it does what I want it to do, why don't offer it to others? And that's what I did. So I started writing code again, 3 more weeks, and I had an MVP. So I started from scratch with the knowledge that I had, because it was very dirty. So I started from scratch, 3 weeks with the knowledge that I had, and then I was ready to release it. And that's what Content Studio is right now. Basically, right now it's just creating the full video, the script, the images, the voiceover based on a topic and the category. You can guide it with a small prompt, but the idea is also that you could or that I will offer specific templates for people. So in the case you would need to, I don't know, to scrap some kind of web or whatever, so that you could really do the kind of videos that you want. I said I have a lot of plans, and one of my biggest plans is that the idea is that you could create TV shows out of it. So actually, let's say you have an idea about a TV show, Big Bang Theory, for example, that you could really create the characters, and based on those characters and a base story, you could then create different episodes and release them into TikTok or YouTube or whatever channel you want with the help of AI.
How would you manage like the character development? So are you going to be leaning on like existing models when they are mature enough?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now there are not enough or mature enough video models out there, right? But you can still manage it with images. You could still animate images. You could still change scenes and images while the voice over changes for different characters. And
Mm-hmm.
the rest, this is like a magician, right? The rest is
Yeah.
in people's mind. So as soon as you
Yeah.
change one voiceover and the picture,
Mm-hmm.
they will, the rest it's in their mind. So that's the
Yeah.
first step I want to do. And after that, once the video models are mature enough, then it will be easy just to create. I think the most difficult part is just to create stable characters all over the videos, right? That they look always
Yeah.
the same or very,
The
very
same.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would assume that's like at least the video models I've seen so far that have attempted making short films or short clips is the consistency with the characters. That's what the problems most people face. But then again, I remember watching, Black Mirror episodes. I think that's like the holy grail for what's possible with AI, at least in the near future. Is you look at
Yeah.
Black Mirror, you're like, how long until we get to this episode? So I see like some Black Mirror episodes where it's like 2D videos almost, right? But I guess the key thing here is the storyline. So it's the story they tell. The graphics only enhances the story, right? The motion. Some of them they don't even have like they look cartoonish. They look like way below even cartoonish, but the story is just captivating. So I guess once you have a great
Exactly.
story, you're able to like make it work.
Exactly. I mean, cartoonish is also not bad. I mean, you could just create a
Yeah.
story or TV show based on cartoons, right?
Mhm.
These days, there are models out there that will give you
Yeah.
Simpsons-like look and feel, or
Yeah.
Pixar-like look and feel, and so on. So basically, it's the story that you want to tell
Mhm.
around it, and that's what
Yeah.
I want to accomplish. The rest will just come with the time and the improvement of the AI models. I'm not an AI
Yeah.
expert. I mean, I'm into it for 1.5 years now, but I'm not an expert. But what I love to do is just give me a clean canvas and an idea, and I will build it.
Mhm.
In this case, it's
Yeah.
my idea, so it's even easier because I have it all in my mind. But
Yeah.
you can do it. You can do it, and as long as you are pushing the edges, and that's always my case because I love to learn and to be into latest tech
Mhm.
stuff always. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, that's really cool, and I like the fact that most of it seems like most of what you've been doing so far have been solving your own problem. So you take a problem that you have, you fix it, and then you think, oh, someone else probably has a similar problem. They may find
Yeah,
this useful. Yeah.
exactly.
Is that the would I say the biggest thing you consider when building these products, right? Or building out something? Do you consider, do I use it? Will someone else use it? Or what's the biggest consideration you make when you want to build something?
I need to be passionate about it. I mean, even if it solves a problem, if you don't love what you do, if the
Yeah.
product you're building, it does not align. Even as said, even if it solves a problem for you, I
Hmm.
think for me it wouldn't work. I need
Yeah.
really to be like, I love this. I love what I'm doing. I love the technology stack that I'm working with, or otherwise for me it doesn't work. And that's why consultant work is not for me, because then
Yeah.
then you work for other people's project that you even don't believe
Yeah.
in in them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
definitely true. I think passion gets you a long way. Something else could get you some ways fast, but passion definitely does get you farther. Also,
yeah,
when you're burned, like, or not burned, but when you're not motivated, if you're passionate about something, you have like
yeah,
there's a higher chance that you would pick it up, at least from my
exactly,
experience. So as an
exactly.
engineer, that's also a builder, what's like your go-to tech stack? What helps you get off the ground fast?
I'm an expert in Laravel and Vue.
Okay.
So this is my main stack: Laravel, Vue, and Tailwind.
Hmm.
I've also been playing for years with Nuxt, what is the server-side rendering of Vue.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of stack. It depends on the needs. I mean, I have some microservices running on Node, some on Python as well. I've been playing with React as needed. Right now, for example, for content AI, I use Remotion, and this is only built
Okay.
in React. So yesterday I had an awesome call with the founders of Remotion, and I told them if they would mind if I would just port what they have done into Vue, because for me it's just easier, because I can write Vue code just with closed eyes,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
and I believe that a lot of people happens the same. So
Yeah.
that's what I try. But said, this is my go-to stack, because I've also a boilerplate that I use for each project, because it helps me don't repeat myself and don't reinvent the
Yeah.
wheel every time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely that makes sense. I guess, with your experience across these multiple like technologies, you could pick whichever is the best fit. And at the least you can default to like the boilerplate that you use. And I need to pay attention to Remotion. I know I came across it like a few years ago. Um, and then it was still like a bit janky. But I can imagine that now with AI and Remotion, it's going to be a whole lot better. There's going to be I would say it's you could create videos faster now with the React components that they do.
For me,
Yeah,
basically, it's way faster to do a video in Remotion than, for example, you to mount it or produce it. It's faster in Remotion than using
yeah.
After Effects for me,
Uh-huh.
because
Wow.
I'm a dev, and
Yeah.
when you are dev, you use keyboard, you code, and that's it, right? And that's what you do with Remotion, basically.
Yeah.
And I want even to simplify it, and one of the things that I want to do, and I will probably in the next months, I will open up a separate service from Content Studio, to allow people via an API call to create a video just by a JSON
Yeah.
payload. So
Yeah.
basically, it will use Remotion under the hood, but it will just allow you send a JSON. It will give me a video back.
Yeah. And this is with AI as well. So you get an AI generated Remotion video, or it's just on top of
I'm
Remotion
not
for
sure.
now.
No, probably it will for now just be a single service that you give a JSON based on your images, your MP4s, MP3s, or whatever. So let's say you have a bunch of images and a voiceover and just want to mount it. Just send it as a JSON with certain structure, and it will just return a video. But probably I will open up a possibility to do it with AI as well.
Yeah, I think that would be powerful. You specify a bunch of like prompts, write a script in JSON, and you get the video back via an API.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So I think I have like a lot of questions on the rather less fun stuff, the go-to-market bits, right? So how are you getting Content Studio out there? How'd you get like people to find it? I know it's a passion project, but is this something you want to, monetize at some point? And how are you
Yeah, I
getting
mean,
it out there?
right now I'm trying to monetize it, and this is for me, it's the most difficult part. I mean, as I said, give me a clean canvas, an idea, and I will build it. That's the easy part. But bringing people and driving traffic to the website and trying to convert them to paid users, for me, is the most difficult part. So I'm just trying to build my own audience right now, or already there for a couple of months. So trying to grow my audience in Twitter and LinkedIn. Those are my main social networks, and I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to do it build in public, and I believe that build in public is. Oh, sorry, I have some flies over here.
No worries. Yeah.
So I'm trying to do it build in public, and I think that right now build in public is a little bit misunderstood, because people are just sharing how much money they are doing. And I don't think the build in public is for that. So the how I understand is is to not be alone. I mean, most of us, we work at home. We are
Mm-hmm.
the whole day alone. So for me, the build in public hashtag is just to be, how you say it? It's not guided, but to don't feel alone. So to feel
Yeah.
that
Have some
somebody
company.
else is there.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's like a co-working space online. I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah.
that's how I. So that you see, then when you have a tough day, you could.
Like a
That's
community,
how I see it.
basically.
Exactly. You just would post it out there, and somebody else should just say, "Hey, it's gonna be good, man. Just keep
Yeah.
pushing, keep working." So that's what I
Get
try.
support. Yeah.
Get support from people out there, except from other
Yeah.
makers. I mean, at the end, we all are on the same path, right? Some are
Mm-hmm.
further away. Others, like me, we just started. And
Mm-hmm.
but for me, the marketing is the most difficult part.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So if somebody
Yeah.
has an idea on how to help me grow, to drive traffic,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
I do know, like marketing, as you say, is very difficult. And I've spoken to like tons of founders, and they definitely say the same thing. And it's difficult because there isn't a one size fits all, you know,
No,
system. It's not like
yeah.
building a React application where if you follow these systems, you follow these algorithms, you're good, right?
And
With
even if you
marketing,
don't
it's different. Mhm.
follow by while coding, right? You just try it. It gives you an
Yeah,
error. Yeah, you fix it. It gives
yeah,
you another error, and it's
hmm
a continuous loop.
yeah,
With marketing, you don't know when you get the output.
yeah,
So you can
yeah.
put a post today out there, but you don't have an
hmm
instant feedback, and you don't know even if the feedback will come and when it will come.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Right?
I mean,
And
yeah, that's right.
so that's how it
Yeah.
looks for me. I
hmm
know there are a lot of marketing people right now saying, "Hey, this is so easy for me," but for me, it's like building it. It's the easy part.
Yeah, I think Eddie, I would say I have an opinion that any marketing person that says marketing is easy, especially with like software marketing, they are not really like in marketing. They are probably selling something. Like they're trying to sell me something if they tell me that marketing is easy, because I know firsthand it's not. And I've spoken to even experienced marketers and GTM professionals, and they say, yeah, this is really difficult, especially because the feedback cycles are a whole lot longer most of
Yeah,
most of the time, right? With software, if you run a piece of code, a line of code, you know if it works or it doesn't, like you said. But
exactly,
with
exactly.
marketing, you have a campaign. If it's a social media campaign, you're waiting days, right? Only on rare occasions would you launch a campaign and you get like instant feedback, or you see like, oh, we get like a spike on the spot
Yes,
today. And even with that, it probably cost you a lot. If it doesn't cost
and
you a lot,
even
then you're lucky.
and even with that, perhaps it was not even your campaign. It was just a repost from somebody that did
From
this,
something.
right?
Yeah, it was
Exactly.
luck.
You really
Yeah.
don't know. That's how I feel, and for me, it's scary. I mean, when I built my NFT game 4 years ago, I spent a lot of money in marketing, thousands and thousands of dollars. I hired 3 different people, and for me, it seems like nobody knows what they are doing because
Yeah.
that that that's my feeling. And I was approached by a lot of people for content studio, and for me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna listen to you, but only if you work on success basis. So I'm
Yeah.
not, because right now this is my feeling. I'm not gonna give out $1 for something that I don't believe in. So
Yes.
show me you can bring people in. I'm
hmm
willing to pay double if it's results basis, right? It's that
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. I have a saying, I only pay for results or I pay for education, right?
Mhm.
If I'm going into something with like an unknown outcome or a desired outcome, just a desired outcome, and some process, I at least expect to come out with knowledge, right? I always say I paid
Exactly.
$2,000 to build like the very first sales pipeline that we have, like the operational aspects of it. And I didn't spend $2,000 on that to get eventual leads. If I get eventual like leads and contacts or meetings booked, that's great. But I paid that because I wanted to know how to set up a pipeline and what is correct. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, no doubt. I saw like read a lot of like articles on what should be right, but I didn't believe any of that because so many different opinions. But I paid a
Yeah.
professional to set it up, so I know, okay, this is what it looks like. And after they were done, I'm like, okay, now I know what it looks like. I have a baseline. I can work from this. So I either pay for that for knowledge, or I'm paying for results. It's like, hey, you get me like X amount of
Yeah.
deals, or you get me
Exactly.
X site visits, something tangible, and then I can pay for that. Or at least you have like a very strong conviction and it's milestone based. Maybe if it's not result based, there's some milestone attached to it to continue working. So yeah, definitely you do have a point with that. So currently with growing your social media presence, like you said, um, what are you trying? Oh, you're muted at the moment. Your headphones trying to die on you. Oh, you cannot hear me. Is it back now? And you need to let me try to on. Yeah, I think it's
I
fine
lost
now.
for a second. I don't know why. And now you're back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. So I was gonna ask. You said you're trying to grow your social media like audience, starting with that at least. How exactly have you tried? Like, what do you do?
I'm very bad at social media. So I'm not a person who likes to share my personal life and put everything on Instagram, or it's not for me, right? So I need to
Hmm.
force myself every day. So I have a timer, I have an alarm set up in order to go into Twitter, go into LinkedIn, go through my feed, try to find some posts that I feel that I can engage with and engage with people. So
Hmm.
this is the way that it kind of works for me, but I keep forgetting it. And sometimes it's just I don't find anything to engage with, but I still need to force it. So uh, fake
Yeah.
it until you make it, right? That's what they say. So that's what I try. I try to do it over and over and over again. Sometimes it's easy
Yeah.
because you find posts that you can engage easily with it, and sometimes it's just difficult. I'm a very honest person, and for me, it's like faking this is very difficult because it's like lying. Uh, but
Hmm.
that's the only way that I have seen growth in my social networks. For example, I
Yeah.
can tell you that LinkedIn for me, it's a network that I don't use that often, but I have like a lot of followers, and it's like because it's business wise, it's different. But Twitter for
Yeah.
me, it's like difficult. I've tried to grow, and
Yeah.
I for 6 months now, and I only got 300 followers or 350 followers or something like that. I don't know, man. I said
Wow.
it's not my thing, but
So
I tried.
yeah, I guess anyone listening to this should go find you on Twitter and follow you. That's the one thing I will
Please do
ask
it.
anyone. Let's try to get you, even if it's like 5, 10 more followers, or any amount more
One
that
more would be awesome as
you could
well.
get. You could put a link to your Twitter in the comments. I'll happily pin it to the stream. You know, if you
Yeah,
if you
sure.
do,
Let me just
I mean, I can always find out.
think.
Hi, Mike. So we see Mike is listening to the stream. Welcome to today's show. I found
Oh,
your
I cannot.
your your Twitter, by the way. I'm just gonna put it here.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So if
Hey,
if you
Mike.
see this, if you're listening to this, just go find Boudy on Twitter and give him a follow. And let's see if this works. We'll get instant feedback or not.
Begging. Entrepreneur begging for followers. That
Yeah.
must be the title of the podcast.
Yeah. That would make a good one. Um, but um, but yeah, I think something that could work, something that you could try. It seems like you have a lot of lessons and you have a lot of stories. I can imagine having, you know, started like a consulting company, made like a shit ton of money, um, started an NFT gaming company, lost $1 million. That's impressive, right? I mean, it's not impressive because not a good thing, but I like to think that bad things make, or bad experiences make for great stories, right? And
Mm,
great stories is what makes social media. So you could explore sharing all that on social media, see it again as business, right? Business is business. It's not
yeah.
personal. It's just you sharing your lessons um, on social media. And I'm sure a lot of people will resonate with that. I will want to see that because I don't want to lose $1 million for whatever, right? In the future or at any time. So
I
I want
mean,
to get those
it's
lessons for sure.
it sounds like, yeah, I lost 1 million, but I didn't realize it until months later. So when I did it, I did look back and say, how much did I lose? It was more than $1 million. It's like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but when you believe in something and you just keep pushing,
yeah,
sometimes you
yeah,
don't know when to step out, and that was my case. I just kept pushing, and
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
difficult sometimes. So you don't realize it in that moment, right?
yeah, yeah. True. You don't realize it in the moment, but good thing is, it's happened. So it's just to make the most out of it. Tell great badass stories from it and just get people championing, um, rooting for you on the next thing. Because I'm sure that's something, even me, I already root for you 5x from just hearing that. Um, Mike is asking if there's a live chat for this stream. I think the live chat is on YouTube, on Twitter. If you just keep replying to the stream, we'll see it here. It's sort of like a pseudo live chat. Um, but yeah, the main one is on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Sorry. So yeah, you talked about like LinkedIn and Twitter, those being like your main channels. Have you seen like a difference in the kind of audience in these two
Yeah.
places? Are you reaching the same kinds of, like, how is that? What's the major difference you've seen personally from those two channels?
Um, I think that LinkedIn is more B2B
Hmm.
network. There's also a lot of bots in LinkedIn, a
Yeah.
lot of recruiters, and a lot of code messages
Sales
trying to
people too.
sell. Yeah, salespeople. So one of the things that I don't like about all these sales funnels is that they are not configured properly. So
Yeah.
I had a client, or I was working for one client that was View School, and
Hmm.
I still keep getting direct code images. You as a founder of View School, blah blah blah. I
Yeah.
was hired as an external consultant for them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's not. mm, It's different. So for me, LinkedIn is B2B purely to
Yeah.
find customers. It's very customers for my consultant part. It's very
Yeah.
easy, or it's the best appropriate tool for it. And
Hmm.
Twitter, it's more person to person, right? It's way
Yeah.
more difficult. I mean, um, I don't even set up Twitter handlers or Twitter accounts anymore for my projects. I do it all with my own handler because it's just easier to sell it as a person than to create
Yes.
your. I mean, you still do it, but I don't use them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just total different networks.
Yeah, you're totally right. We see a lot more engagement and even conversion when you sell as a person. Maybe not sell, or just share, talk about your product as a person, than when you use like a branded handle or create a, some
Yeah.
handle on Twitter for it. That's definitely something other founders should take should take note of, because it's usually easy to just fall into the trap of, I built a new product, I'm going to go straight up create a Twitter account, uh, for it. I think it's only good if you have multiple products and you want some differentiation from your personal brand, then it makes sense to create like multiple Twitter social accounts. But if it's just you, one person with a product you're trying to grow, at least at the start, it's
Yeah,
beneficial to
you should
talk
still
about it
create the
personally.
account so that nobody should can steal it,
So no one
right?
steals it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
and
that.
every time, I mean, I've built 8 products in the last year, and every time I start a project, I always do the same. So I set up
Yeah.
everything as it would grow awesome, because you never know when somebody will come and buy it. And so I have different email accounts, different domains, different everything. So if I need to give it over to somebody else, so it's not stick to my name at all,
Yeah.
right? Or it's
Uh-huh.
not stick to my accounts. That's how I do it. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
overkill.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's
Yeah.
overkill, but
I can imagine.
yeah, but that's how I work. So I set up a different server for each project, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Mike says 8 products in a year. He just read my mind. Yeah, that's definitely awesome. How did you, like, how do you do it? How do you pick what to build and ship?
It's based on sentiments. I mean, I can tell you, for example, right now with Content AI Studio, I already figure out not one, but 6 different products that I could build to
Yeah.
help me out with it that had nothing to do with it. And I will probably start one of them next week as a side
Okay.
project, let's say, and grow it or try to grow it. I mean, at the end, for me, products are tools that I could reuse over and over again for myself, right?
Yeah.
And I prove it. So I validate it myself and it works. Then I just try to put it out there and yeah, and sell it. I mean, that's what we all want, right? Make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
thing is that I built 8 products. I made out of the 8 products, I don't know, $600 in a year. So it's not
Yeah.
that much, man.
Yeah. $600 and tons of lessons from all
Yeah,
of them.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's good. There's always lessons from one of these things. Something just crept into like my mind while you're saying this, and just to take us a bit back with the sales bots you said you see on LinkedIn. I see a lot of that, and yesterday I was speaking to the sales folks. We had like this midnight session where we're just going over retrospective on the sales call, and we touched the subject of inefficient campaigns, because for us we send out very few emails, right, in our campaign. So typical campaigns, you hear of people sending 12, 15,000 emails, right? For us, we send less than 500, sometimes 200 emails, still automated, not as personalized, right? But the conversion is a whole lot, it's a whole lot higher. And the secret to this is we spend a lot of time pre-qualifying these leads, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we want to make sure that whoever we're sending an email, they probably have a problem, they're a good fit for us, and they're the right person.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to reach out to like the wrong people, because the downsides of that is we have huge emails we blast out. We could hurt our brand because we don't know who we've sent these emails to. Um, we get Previously we would get a lot of people adding us to like their spam, marking the emails as spam, killing our domains. And when the domain is killed with, like, if all the emails from there go to spam, we have to set up a new domain. We need to warm it up for 6 weeks, and then we need to start using that to set like sequences. And when the domain is warmed up, you can't just start sending 50 emails a day. You have to start from 5, 10 a day. So the risk was just a lot. So we said we're going to do a lot of work upstream to qualify, or at least pre-qualify the contacts that we reach out to make sure they're relevant. And then eventually, when we send these emails, even though we don't get like maybe positive responses, we get flat responses. Someone saying, "Hey, this is great. This isn't priority for us now, but I'll keep you in mind for later." And I feel happier knowing I reached out to 200 people. This also means if we do a really good job and we scale the numbers, the positive responses will be a lot more. But at least we know we would get a lot more numbers from that. So that's something I wanted to share in case anyone was wondering if they should send out 10,000 emails as part of a cold email campaign. They shouldn't, or at least unless they pre-qualify all those contacts in some way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, today I had a call with somebody from marketing, and one of the things that I want to approach in the next weeks is to reach out to content creators to show them Content Studio AI, so they can start using it and talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And he suggested to automate all the process. And I thought, nah, that's not what I want. I really prefer to handpick 10, 15 people who know they are not going to sell smoke. They are going to talk about the product, even if it's bad. I mean, I prefer somebody who dives deep into the product and is honest about it. Exactly. But at least he knows what he's talking about, right? Instead of sending out, I don't know, 2,000 creators and don't know who's going to talk about what and why. So I understand totally what you're saying, and I feel it personally. I prefer also to do less but better work than just to spread it out for the world.
Yeah, that's right. We've had better success with that. And since we're coming up to time, I know at the start of this stream you'd mentioned that the reason you built Content Studio was because you spent an hour editing or creating a video that's 1 minute 30 seconds long, right?
Yeah.
Currently with Content Studio, how long does this take?
To create a short around 1.5 minutes, it takes 2.5 minutes.
Wow. I'm trying to compute the savings.
Let's say plus 2 minutes more rendering, and depending on your internet connection, 0.5 minute downloading. So in 5 minutes, you could have it downloaded in your computer, or in Content Studio you can also auto-publish it. So you can connect your social networks like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, or whatever, and just in 3 clicks in 5 minutes, it's posted out to the world.
Wow, this is almost about like 90% time savings.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So that's an impressive transformation, going from 1 hour to 5 minutes to create a short video.
Yeah, one of the next steps that I want to implement in there is that you could program, let's say I want to create alien faceless videos, right? Talking about aliens and all woo-woo stuff and so on. That you could program every day at a certain time your video. So you don't even need to click that. So it will automatically generate the video and it will post it out there. Or it will send you an email, hey, your video is ready. Do you want to review it and approve it to get public? So that's the next step that I aim for, so that it's even for you less than, I don't know, what it takes you to watch the video and change whatever you don't like, right?
Yeah, well, I've created an account on Content Studio AI. So I guess anyone else watching out there, create an account as well. I want to see what this 90%, time saving creating faceless videos, what it looks like. Thank you so much.
Test it out and give me feedback. I'm here to improve it. So
yeah. Thank you very much, Boudy. Do you have any last words for the audience or anyone listening?
No, just if you're a maker, keep pushing, keep doing, at some point you will get there. And
Yeah.
to you, William, thank you for having me here. It was a
Yeah.
real pleasure, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. Pleasure is all mine. It's always great to chat and learn a bit about how not to lose $1 million building a game. I can't get it out of my mind yet. Yeah, but thank you so much for coming on, Boudy. And for anyone else listening, thanks for hanging around. Thanks, Mike, for being in the comments and providing moral support. It was great having you on the stream. And if you're on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. It's somewhere down there. I don't know how this works yet. Just having fun on the streams either ways. And I'll see you all on next week on another episode of Everything Outside Code. Have a nice day.